my name's Kelsey. Me and three of my other class partners are going to be facilitating a classroom discussion today and a bit of a lecture about fruit and vegetable consumptions among college students. First, I want to welcome you to the classroom and thank you so much for being here. We understand that your schedules are super busy and taking the time out of the day to be here with us today means a lot. And so we're going to try and make it the most impactful and give you as much useful information as we can. We're going to start off by talking about some of the benefits of fruit and vegetable consumption. We're going to give you some recipes that maybe you can apply at home. Then we're going to talk about budgeting and how to increase your consumption of fruit and vegetables while making cost-effective choices. And to top it off, we're going to talk about how to navigate the cafeteria here at Chico State so that you can make better informed choices when you're grabbing a quick lunch. So to start off, here's just a quick statistic about current rates of college students who are eating enough fruits and vegetables. So according to a National Health College assessment, only 7.8% of students are eating the recommended 5 servings of fruits and vegetables each day. It can be kind of hard to think about what is 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, but a number like 7.8% of all college students, that's pretty easy to recognize that that's pretty low. So maybe we can start thinking about our individual consumptions. Are you eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables each day? Do you feel like you really understand what 5 servings of fruits and vegetables is? So let's go ahead and start out by getting a quick get to know each other, have a quick little discussion with your neighbors, and think about, are you eating that much? And was that a shocking statistic? So you guys, what do you think? Yeah.
I think it was pretty surprising how low that statistic is. But I would be part of that group because I only get maybe about 1 serving if it's a good day of fruits and vegetables.
Like an apple or a banana?
Yeah, something quick that I can just grab.
What about in the meals that you're eating throughout the day?
I don't really know how to incorporate like veggies and fruits inside my meals, so it's just something quick that I can just grab.
Yeah, great. Well, maybe with some good statistics and some good information, we can influence you to eat more. So there's a couple big hitter organizations that a lot of people are familiar with. The World Health Organization, the U.S. Surgeon General, and the Dietary Guidelines for Americans. These are 3 totally separate machines and producers of information, and they're all coming together to talk about some of the things that eating fruits and vegetables can prevent. Things like being overweight, high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. We're all really young. You are all college students. Maybe these aren't things that you're exactly thinking about right now, but the choices you make today could influence whether or not these are things that come up later in your life. So there's a general recommendation that's been put out as a movement called Half Your Plate, and it recommends making up half your plate of fruits and vegetables. That's a lot. When you're thinking about the dinners that you normally eat, do you think you're hitting that? So there's lots of things that determine what we eat. Sometimes this is considered food culture. It's what shapes our decisions and impacts our decision making. So some of the main things are here along the side: taste, preference, culture, what we're used to eating at home. Maybe you do already eat because you're focused on nutritional needs. Maybe you're eating more impulsively. Maybe there's emotional eating, or you're eating due to stress. Maybe we're looking for comfort foods. So all of these things are things to consider when you're acknowledging what makes you decide what to eat. So as I stated earlier, we're all college students. Maybe we're not thinking about the risk of diabetes, cardiovascular disease, or stroke. But there are some things that will impact you today. Right away, for college students, increased consumption of fruits and vegetables can have all of these benefits: cognitive function, just quality of sleep, energy levels and athletic performance, mood stability and stress levels, your immune function, and digestive health. So what does that mean for you as far as being a college student? Well, some of those benefits can directly correlate to your life. With improved cognitive function, you could get better test results. With improved immune function, you won't have to miss days of school. With better quality of sleep, you won't have that midday crash. Your mood stability, you might have better social interactions. Improved satiety, you might not have those late night food binges. And with improved digestion, you're gonna have less bloating and cramping. All of those sound pretty good to me. So When we're looking at college students specifically, there have been some studies that have shown that if you're skipping breakfast, that can cause some serious impacts at the beginning of your day that might cascade through the rest of the day. Being hungry can seriously negatively impact your academic performance, and skipping breakfast can lead to poor functioning. So breakfast might be one of the most important meals of the day to get you started right, and we're going to help guide you on how to make those good healthy choices throughout the rest of the day too. So now we're going to talk about some recipes that you could maybe implement into your life or give you ideas on how to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into your diet.
Hello, my name is Brittany. I'm going to teach you 3 recipes today. These are recipes that I make all the time that I like to incorporate a lot of vegetables into, because that's kind of what I'm hearing is that you guys are having a hard time adding vegetables into your diets and into your lunch especially. So these are going to be about 30-minute recipes that you can do in between your classes. If you have like an hour break or something, you can come home and cook this up. It's pretty easy. And then I'm going to show you a few of the common skills that we found that people are having issues with. So we'll teach you a couple of things so that you are competent and can do this and you feel good. Okay, so the first recipe we're going to look at today is French. This is a crustless quiche. So people typically have fear of quiche because of the crust. So this is a really easy recipe. You just throw it all into a bowl, mix it up, you put it into a dish, and then you bake it for 30 minutes. It's very easy. So all you need are these ingredients, which we're going to talk about later, the cost of this, because you might be looking at that kind of freaking out like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of ingredients. But it's really not. It's not that bad. So you just have eggs, flour, milk, some cheese, frozen spinach, red onion. We're going to do low-fat Greek yogurt in there. And then you can just season it how you'd like. I normally put salt and pepper, some thyme. I don't expect you to have thyme in your kitchen, but whatever spices you like to do. So the first technique I'm going to kind of walk you guys through is grating cheese. Okay, so the reason that I'm going to show you this is because it's cheaper to grate your own cheese than to buy grated cheese. And the con there is that it does take a little bit more time to grate the cheese, but it's maybe like 4 minutes out of your life. Okay, it's not that bad, and it's like maybe $1 cheaper, 50 cents cheaper. So anyway, all you need is a standard cheese grater. They're not like too technical or anything. I have seen other techniques where people put it sideways, but I don't do that. I think it's weird. So you just take the cheese, you throw the cheese, and then you just go down like this, and you want to put pressure down like this so it doesn't slide away, and you just push. And oh my gosh, look at this cheese! Amazing! Okay, so you would grate a whole thing of this and put it into the bowl. Pretty cool. Okay, and then next, well, I made a mess. That wouldn't happen if you grated all the cheese, just FYI. Okay, so next thing I'm going to show you is how to chop an onion, because I feel like people maybe are a little scared of onions. They've got this crazy peel on it. You're like, what do I do? So anyway, the first thing I do, also, I'm using a standard steak knife because I feel like maybe not everyone has a chef knife. If you're interested in using a chef knife, you can. And that would be one of these. They're about $4 at Ross. Not too bad. They make slicing a lot easier, but for today I'm going to assume you don't have one, and I'm going to show you a technique that I use when I want to make chopped onion. That's pretty easy. So you're going to take the onion, be careful, don't cut yourself. You go slices across like this. Normally that doesn't happen. And then you go again, so you're scoring it. And then you can cut it right down. And wow. Look at that, isn't that neat? So fast and easy.
That's super cool. I've never seen that.
Yeah, so I found a lot of tricks because I don't like to spend time cooking either, guys. Okay, the only con to this is that if it's a really fresh onion, might make your eyes start to water, but that's okay. If you stick your head in the freezer, dry your eyes right out, stop burning. Okay, so
Nice.
do it next to the freezer. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna look at, use this one this time, is this lovely hand-roasted chicken and vegetables. Okay, so this is a really easy recipe too, because all you have to do is chop up the vegetables and you get some chicken, you season it up with some olive oil and whatever seasoning you like. We recommend doing like cayenne pepper if you like it kind of spicy. Today I used a chili lime seasoning I got at Trader Joe's, which it tastes awesome on anything. And the cool thing about vegetables and chicken is that whatever you put on it, that's what it tastes like, because it's kind of flavorless in a way. So anyways, I'm going to show you a little bit. Oh, let me go down the list real quick. So this is just chicken, and then I just picked the vegetables that I like. So we did some zucchini, some yams, some broccoli. I mixed up some garlic. Yeah, that's about it. And then the seasonings that I said before, the chili lime seasoning. So I'm going to show you how to slice the vegetables. And I'm going to use this knife this time because honestly it's a little easier. I'm just going to move these out of the way. Okay, so this is so easy, guys, I promise. So you're going to take off this part right here. That doesn't taste good, so just take that part off, and then you just slice away. So you want to hold it like this. Okay? You don't ever want to do that. And you want to make sure that your hand is away from the blade so you don't slice your hand off. Another thing too that I've seen before, people will do, they'll take part of it and cut it in half so that you have like a stable base so it won't slide away when you're trying to chop it. And since we're just putting this in the oven, it doesn't really matter what it looks like, what size it is or anything. So that's a really good technique to not hurt yourself. And then you just kind of want to make a smooth slicing motion like that. And you just do it all the way across. And it's really pretty great. This knife is great. I definitely recommend one if you guys are committed to doing this. Okay, and then always put it back safely away. We'll clean it first, but you know what I mean. Okay, so right. So the next part of that is that it just takes a little bit more time, but actually it's pretty fast. So another thing that I really wanted to touch on today is food safety, because a lot of people maybe don't know what the temperature is for their meat to keep it safe. So here, this is a list of all of the different types of meat that you would cook and the temperature. So steak is the easiest, it's 145. If you're working with poultry or ham or your leftovers, casseroles, those are 165. So those are the kind of the scariest ones that you have to watch for, but don't be afraid of them. It's not that big of a deal. You can kind of tell when they're done, but you can also get this thermometer for like $3. And you take it out of the oven when you think it's done. You're going to put it into the thickest part of the meat to test it, just like that, and you watch it and wait until it gets to 165, and then it's done. And if it doesn't, then you put it back in for another couple of minutes. So you definitely want to make sure that you're being safe. Okay, and then the very last one that I'm going to do is this is like, guys, I gotta go. I don't have time to chop all these vegetables. It's just a quick green smoothie that is pretty easy because we're going to use some frozen berries, so you can just have those hanging out in your freezer. Smoothies are really great because we all just have random things in our refrigerator, and you can kind of just blend them up and bam, you got a smoothie. Got your good lunch going. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the ingredients. So in this recipe we're doing frozen spinach, or you can do frozen spinach if you want, or frozen kale. It's better for smoothies because you want it to be kind of frozen, you know? You don't want it to be soupy and warm. So that's kind of what gives it that smoothie, you know, that smoothie texture and temperature. And here we have almond milk. If you don't like almond milk, you don't have to use almond milk. You can use a different alternative milk. You can use actual milk. Nobody's judging here. So yeah, you just put what you have in there. A banana, some almond butter. You can use peanut butter. You can use pretty much any nut butter. That'll work. And then we have some rolled oats in there too. So this is actually considered a meal replacement smoothie. It has a lot of carbohydrates, a little bit of fat, and some protein. So yeah, that is that. And if you guys are wondering about kale, because you've never heard of that before, we'll talk about that briefly. So don't be afraid of kale. There's a couple of different kinds, but they're all very healthy and good for you. The main benefits of kale are that they have phytochemicals in them, which help you fight cancer. They're full of antioxidants too that have a lot of different roles in your body, and they keep you healthy and feeling good. They also have fiber in them, which is really important. That's going to keep you fuller longer and also keep you regular. Not that you guys want to talk about that, but you have to, right? It's important. Also, it's very versatile. You can use it in a salad. You can cook it in a pot as a side for your main meal, and then you can also put it in a smoothie, okay? So yeah, that's all I have for you guys on your techniques. Now we're going to talk about making it work with your budget.
Hello everyone, my name is Monica, and today we're going to be talking about the cost factor, addressing that factor, and sometimes that's a barrier for you to not eat as many fruits and veggies. We're also going to address we're going to compare eating at home versus eating out. So first I want to start off by asking, how many of you eat out? How many times do you regularly eat out?
At least like once or twice a week.
2.
Yeah, I'd say probably about the same.
And why do you choose to eat out versus cooking at home?
Because I didn't have time to make lunch.
It's convenient late at night.
It tastes good.
Okay. Well, we're going to address the cost. Sometimes people eat out because they think it's cheaper than making food at home, and they don't have time, like you said. So on average, did you know that an individual can spend about $36 per meal at a restaurant?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Shocking,
Wow.
right?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And that's because restaurants mark up their price by 300%. So let's say a meal that really only costs the restaurant $5 to make is going to cost you $15 to pay for. And a lot of the restaurants get away with this when they sell you beverages. So like a beverage to them is only going to cost them 2 cents per drink, per cup. And for you, it's going to cost you $2.
Wow.
So a lot of people think that home-cooked meals is kind of a luxury. It's very expensive to make. And the reason for this is because when you go out grocery shopping to get specific ingredients for a recipe, the price adds up to what you would have spent at a restaurant, about $15, $30. But the thing to focus on here is the fact that these ingredients are going to last you a longer time than just that one meal that you would get at the restaurant. You can use more ingredients. You could use those leftover ingredients for for the rest of the week, for a different kind of recipe, especially if you plan it out. So it's all about extending the value of your groceries when you go shopping. Another benefit for eating at home versus eating out is that you get to invest in your health. So eating out frequently can contribute to expensive health complications and require long-term medication. So usually, like Kelsey explained, when you don't eat a lot of fruits and veggies, there's a lot of diseases that you can contribute. So like if you're eating out, you could see like an increase in your weight, high blood pressure, or sometimes people can develop insulin resistance. And this is because restaurants are not going to address those kinds of concerns. They just want it to taste good for you. So when you invest in your health, when you're cooking at home, you can address the fact that it's going to be safer for you because you aren't going to you're going to be less exposed to allergens. You can take into consideration what you're allergic to and cook only what you can eat. You can, there's portion control. You can actually cook whatever you plan to eat. And then also there's a time factor. So you can actually take your time to eat, because sometimes when you're out at a restaurant, you feel rushed if you came in at the dinner rush. So if you're still really skeptical and don't believe me that cooking at home is going to be less expensive than eating out, we're going to take Brittany's vegetarian crustless quiche recipe, and the prices right here that are listed is about the portion that she used in her recipe. So Brittany's crustless quiche, her Greek yogurt, spinach, the 3 eggs that she used, the cup of milk, and the onion would have costed her $2.41 total.
Wow.
And that, I think she said that gives her about 6 servings of the quiche recipe.
Wow.
So Upper Crust, a very famous and popular little bakery downtown in Chico, their crustless ham and potato quiche cost them about $9. And that's an average. They have different ones, but that's still really high. And that's only for 1 quiche, where you can have 6 quiches for about $2. If you still don't believe me, we have the veggie pack green smoothie. So we added some kale, spinach, pineapple, green apple, orange. This is another variation. You can add almonds if you want. You can add chia seeds. That's a total of $1.36. How many of you go to Jamba Juice?
Ooh, me.
Well,
Uh-oh.
you're not going to want to go anymore. Jamba Juice costs you about $6.59 for a medium-sized apple and green smoothie.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You're going to want to start cooking at home and making your meals at home. So when we're grocery shopping, we do want to take into consideration what's going to benefit us when we're purchasing our items. And there's a lot of options. So briefly, I just want to talk about frozen versus fresh food and chopped versus whole. Sometimes when you buy frozen foods, the quality could be compromised, but it could be cheaper. And like Brittany said, it's probably better to use frozen foods for a smoothie. So it all depends what you have to use it for. Fresh foods are going to be good in like her pan roasted chicken, where she gets to cut them up and chop them up however she wants them. Same thing with the chopped versus whole. A chopped food is going to be more expensive, just like how she did with the grated cheese. If you buy grated cheese, it's going to be more expensive as opposed to the whole cheese. We do have this worksheet here for you guys, so you can take on your shopping, and write down the things that you purchase and compare and contrast the prices, just so when you continue to go shopping more and cooking more in school, you can keep track of what works best for you and go from there. So now we're going to talk about how to navigate different cafeterias at Chico State.
All right, thank you so much, Monica. Hi, I'm Mario, and welcome to our class. Today, we're going to be discussing how to navigate through a food cafeteria. So we know that there's plenty of students here in Chico State that do not meet the recommended daily amounts of vegetable and fruit intake. And we've gone over techniques at home to prepare and cook your own vegetables, as well as incentives to go out and buy your own produce and make it yourselves. So we'll go ahead and start navigating food locations around Chico State, around the BMU, places around the campus or around the dorms, as well as cafes that are well known, such as Sylvester's and Common Grounds, and convenience stores. The convenience stores is a place I would prefer students to avoid, as they do provide less options. The other 3 do have quite a bit of other options for fruits and vegetables consumption. So the first place we're going to talk about is the marketplace. That is a spot that most Chico State students have seen, or at least come across by in their time in Chico State. I spoke to one of the floor managers there to get a good layout of the cafeteria. And he described that there's 4 stations there. The grains and greens, there's Scoville, Chopstick,